So the one thing I can't seem to get rid of in these videos is that shadow from that light right there. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is shadows actually. So it's kind of a apt topic. Good topic for Halloween too, alright? So let's use a different light actually. Ooh, spooky, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the fuzziness of shadows today. You may have noticed that sometimes shadows are sharp around the edges or fuzzy around the edges. So look at this right here. Looks pretty sharp. But what if I take my hand over here? You can see there are gray parts around the edges, and here it looks sharper. Less gray parts around the edges of the shadow, right? Here, lots of gray parts around the edges, right? So when I move my hand closer to the flashlight, we could see that the shadow that the flashlight makes gets fuzzier. But why does that happen? We're going to draw some ray diagrams with some light rays to figure that out, alright? So title up shadow diagrams and put today's date. And there are 3 parts to the shadow diagram that we're going to start with. On the left side over here is a flashlight. Okay, your iPhone flashlight is very small, more like a point. Our flashlight's going to have a little height to it, a little width to it, alright? So draw it like this, a really tall oval, and something that's a little tall like that, alright? Now, the next part is the object. We're going to have a stick figure, a person, and they're going to make a shadow over here on a wall. We're going to call that wall a screen. It's the spot where the shadow shows up. The shadow shows up right over here on the screen, alright? So, one thing I want you to make sure of when you draw the person, make their head level with the top of the flashlight. I tried to make their head at the same height as the top of their head at the same height as the top of the flashlight. This is going to work better for you because you have lines on your paper. And make their bottom of their feet level with the bottom of the flashlight as well. So the actual light should be the same height as them, and it's going to make it really easy to make a diagram, alright? Last thing I want to mention before you finish your drawing, don't put them directly in the center between the light and the screen. Make them a little closer to the screen than the light. Okay, make them a little closer to the screen. You see my person is a little to the right, not directly in the center right here between the flashlight and the screen. Alright, so you can pause and draw this right now. Fantastic. Alright, you have your drawing made. And now we're ready to draw some light rays coming from this flashlight. Alright. I suggest you get different colors for this. I have 3 different colors. I have blue, green, and red. I suggest you also get a straight edge, a ruler out with you. And if you need to pause and go grab different colors and a ruler, go do that right now. It's going to be really helpful. Okay, so you got your different colors ready. I'm going to start with red. And the most important thing right now is to realize that all our light is going to travel in a straight line. Light travels in a straight line for the most part, alright? Okay, so first we're going to draw 2 rays of light that come from the top of the flashlight right here, okay? So I put a little dot on the top of the flashlight. That's the highest point that light is going to come from on the flashlight. And I want to draw light coming from there that goes right over the top of the person's head. Make it a straight line right over the top of the person's head. Very good. I'm going to bold that a little bit now. I bold it. It doesn't look as straight, but it looks pretty good. Now, another straight line coming from the same spot, the top of the flashlight, skimming the bottom of the person's feet. So this one just touches the bottom of their feet. And it's going to look like that. And when the light gets to the screen, that's where the shadow shows up. So you can stop drawing the line when it gets to the screen. There you go. So if light only came from the top of the flashlight, like we're drawing here, the shadow would show up right here between these two red lines. That would be all dark because their body blocks all the light. Like any light that would go to their waist would just hit into their waist and it wouldn't go to the screen. So between these two red lines, it's all dark. It's a shadow. All right? And we're going to do the same process, except we're going to draw two more rays of light coming from the bottom of the flashlight. But we're going to do the same sort of thing. We're going to draw the light skimming their head and skimming their feet. Okay? So the first ray of light now, on my new color, I'm choosing green this time. You could choose a different color. From the bottom of the flashlight and skimming the top of the person's head. Straight line. Okay? And also from the bottom of the flashlight, skimming their feet. There we go. Now it looks like it's skimming their feet. It shouldn't go through their body. None of these lines should go through their body. They should either skim the head or skim the feet. Alright? So if light only came from the bottom of the flashlight, the area between these two green lines would be dark.